Today we're going to talk about ratios and proportions. You worked a lot with them last year, but we're going to take them a little bit further with algebraic proportions this year. So we're going to talk about ratios, just rates, and then the law of proportions. So a ratio is just a comparison of two numbers by division. In other words, a fraction. Okay. Equivalent rates are rates that represent the same ratio, and then a proportion is an equation that sets two ratios equal to each other. And we're really going to concentrate on proportions. Okay, so our property of proportions says that if A over B, or A divided by B, equals C divided by D, then our cross products, A times D, is equal to B times C. So those things should be equal. So if I want to check to see if they're equivalent rates, one of the things we could do is we definitely could simplify, but we could also use the law of proportions to check to see if these are equivalent rates. Little question mark over the equal sign there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use cross products. So we're going to multiply 7 times 48. And then we're going to multiply 8 times 42. If they're equal to each other, then we have equivalent fractions. So 7 times 48 is 336. And 8 times 42 is 336. So these are equal to each other, so yes, these are equivalent rates. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use that law of proportion, and we're going to solve each proportion, and we're going to round to the nearest hundredth. Now, I know you guys are thinking, oh, I could do this in my head, but what happens when you get proportions like this? You can't do it in your head, and I'm expecting to see things written out. So if we do cross multiplication, we're going to do 2 and 4/10 times 1 and 8/10 equal to 3 and 5/10 k. So I want to see that written out. And then we're going to multiply 2 and 4/10 times 1 and 8/10, and that's going to be 4 and 32/100. And then I've just got a simple one-step equation. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3.5. And that's going to give me approximately 1 and 23/100. And actually, when we talk about approximately, we use this. We don't use a straight equal sign. This means approximately. Refresh your memory with rounding. If I'm rounding to the nearest hundredth, I'm going to look to the number in the thousands place, which this is a 4. Since it's less than 5, I just keep it the same. So k is approximately 1 in 23/100. If that had been 5 or above, we would have rounded up. All right, so let's look at the next example. If I cross multiply, 7 times 36 is equal to 21 times x plus 9. Again, I can't stress enough that I want to see this written out, because what happens here typically is you all forget to distribute. I'm hoping that you won't, but every year that seems to be the case. So I'm going to distribute. So I'm going to get 21x plus 189, because 21 times 9 is 189, and that is equal to 7 times 36, which is 252. So now I've got a two-step equation, so I'm going to subtract 189 from both sides. And when I do that, I get 63 equals 21x. When I divide by 21, x equals 3. Right. Notice I keep flipping signs. In a couple days, you guys are going to learn that there's a property that lets us flip these sides. It's called the symmetric property, so I'll just throw that little teaser out there for you, so, kind of like the cliffhanger. All right, one more problem. We're going to cross multiply again so that I've got 3 times 9b minus 3 equal to 9 times 5b plus 5. All right, if I distribute my 3, I'm going to get 27b minus 9 equal to 45b plus 45 if I distribute my 9 here to here. All right, I'm going to get my variables all on one side, so I'm going to subtract 45b from both sides. And that is going to give me negative 18b minus 9 equals 45. I'm going to add 9 to both sides. So that gives me negative 18b equal to, I don't know why that does that from time to time, 54. And then if I divide by negative 18, b is going to equal, I'm going to double check on my calculator because you guys know me in basic math, is going to give me negative 3. All right, so today we looked at the law of proportions. Remember that across products are equal if we have a true proportion, and be careful if you need to distribute. Have a math-tastic day.